forward practitioner and transformational life coach, Dianne Stewart Hamlin. She's going to encourage us today.
Yes.
Good morning. All of what he said. More and more. So, I'm sitting here listening to the music, and I am listening to Manny, and I'm listening to Joanne, and I'm thinking, oh, this is the talk. The talk's over. They've said it all. Living our lessons. That's it. You know, living our lessons. And yes, absolutely, there is a connectedness. There is always a connectedness. And what we do in class is we remind ourselves that we are always connected. But there's never a separation. And so talking, you know, today and just walking this morning as I was having my little talk with the divine about what I'm going to talk about today, it really struck me, you know, how we every single aspect of your beingness is a journey. And there's a lesson in every single thing that we do, right? And there's so many kinds of lessons. And this morning I was thinking about the different types of lessons and the way that we learn lessons. And so, you know, many of us, all of us start out with parents, right? And parents teach us how to walk, how to tie our shoes. And we have teachers. And throughout life, whether it's in school or it's at service or it's at a class at Centers for Spiritual Living, you have a teacher. And so you learn lessons along the way. Now, some of the ways that we learn lessons are, we learn them either from teachers, or we learn them by practicing a particular behavior until we master the skill. You know, like people that want to run marathons, they start by walking, and then they run a mile or a half a mile, and they practice and practice until they develop this like incredible longevity. And they can run, what is it, 26.2? And they have mastered that lesson, how to do that thing, and they push themselves. And so there's like the practice. There's also the life experience, right, where you come into a situation and you experience the situation, and then you learn the lesson. So the question is, what does it mean to live the lesson? Because the lesson, which was really clear for me, is not the pain that you experience. The lesson is not the hurt. The lesson is not the final thing. The lesson is not the actual marathon that you run. The lesson is in the journey to the marathon, the things that you develop, the skills that you develop. It matters not what space you learn your lesson in or how you learn your lesson. It's always about the journey. So I'm thinking about that as I'm talking about, okay, so we're living our lessons. How are we living our lessons in our lives? And what does that look like? Is the lesson, for example, that my marriage ended and it hurt so bad, is that the lesson or what was the lesson along the way? Was it that I maybe wasn't paying attention, maybe wasn't actively participating, maybe had fallen asleep in my process? Is that the lesson? What is the actual lesson? Not the pain at the end, not the rebuilding of the life that you now have to do, but what is the actual lesson? What were you learning along the way to the culmination of the event, to the place where it says it failed? Because nothing is actually a failure. Everything is actually an experience, and it may be a not so fun experience, but it's an experience. It's not that you failed, it's not that the situation failed. We use those words, but really when you sit back and say, what am I learning here? What am I learning about my life? What am I learning about what it is that I want? I recently right now in my life, went through this period of stress and tension. And I'm walking around in a ball of stress and tension around certain aspects of my life. So I'm in this ball about my work situation, and I'm working very hard, and I'm showing up, and I'm all over the place. And the reason why all of this is happening is because I declared abundance in my life, and so I got it. Okay, so there I have boatloads of clients now, right? Last year I was declaring and affirming that I will have lots of clients. Well, ha-ha, ta-da, you asked for it, you got it. Now, why are you so wrapped up in this stress, this physical thing around the abundance that you have received? What are you not paying attention to? So my assistant, who has worked with me and been my assistant for like 12 years, right? She looks at me and she says, I've never seen you stressed. You don't stress. What's going on with you? And I was like, I'm stressed? Because I'm just in this ball of tension, completely unaware that in this area of my life, I'm all knotted up around this thing because of whatever is going on. What are you not? And then comes the questions, Dianne, stop, step back. What are you not paying attention to? What are you not allowing to register? What is not congruent in your work circumstance that's causing you to walk around in this ball of energy that does not serve you or anyone around you? Sure, you're getting it done, but are you getting it done in grace and ease? Are you getting it done joyfully? Does it feel like service or does it feel like work? Stop. Pay attention. What are you doing? So I stepped back and started, looking at the lessons. What am I not paying attention to? Oh, I'm not paying attention to this thing here. Oh, I'm not allowing myself to admit that this particular situation is not acceptable. And I don't want to take the time to stop and shift to that. Because I don't want to fire a staff member. I don't want to let someone go and say, you're not working in this situation. I want you to be okay, because I know you have a family and I know these things are working. However, you're not congruent in this spot for me, and now I have to make that choice. It's a lesson, right? I have to make that choice about what works for the overall good. And why am I looking away? Because I don't want to make that choice, because I don't want to be the one to say, and I have to, because I'm the boss. I'm it. There is no, can you do it for me, right? I'm it. So I have to do this thing, right? And the lesson is, for me, you're not paying attention. You're looking away, because even though you're aware that the thing is happening, you're looking away because you don't want to address it. How many times do we do that in other areas of our lives? How many times do we have to come back to learn the same lesson, that if I pay attention in my life as I go along, if I choose to be focused and aware of what is happening in my circumstance, then I cannot look away. I cannot look away. I have to address. I have to be present with my situation. I have to be present with my circumstance. I have to be present with the presence, knowing that each and everything is happening in divine order. And that it is not really about me causing a thing, but it's really about me allowing a thing. And when it's not happening, then I'm interfering with the process. Even when I am not actively interfering, if I am passively doing nothing, I'm interfering with the process. So how do I live now in my lessons? How do I allow myself to stand up in the lessons that I've learned in life and really honor who I am? The first thing I have to do is remind myself that I matter. You matter, you matter, you matter, we all matter. Nobody is here on accident. Nobody is here without a purpose. It is not that you just came to parent your children and go to work and save some money and then retire and go to pasture. That is not it. You have come to make a difference on the planet. You are here in this time right now because who you are is important. Who you are matters. Who you are has value to this world. And the fact that you are here alters everything. The fact that you are here matters. If Claire was not sitting there, this room would be fully altered. The energy and vibration would be different. And I wouldn't have gotten my hug this morning. I wouldn't have gotten to experience that one-on-one love moment that I had with her if she had not shown up. So she matters because my heart glorified in the hug. My heart was joyous in the connection. You matter. That you're here is important. So what are the lessons that you're learning along the way, and how are you living in them, rather than allowing yourself to feel like you're a victim of them? Just because something happened, and I will tell you that the pain that you felt, it's just one of the symptoms of the journey. It's not necessarily the end result. That's not the lesson. The lesson is not about how do I avoid pain ever again. How do I build a wall around me and never ever feel pain again? That is not the lesson. The lesson is, what did I do along the way to get here? And how do I engage in my life differently now so that my journey does not involve me going back to the same pain, going back to the same pain. It's like in relationships. Some women date the same man. He just has a different name. You just keep dating the same man, the same man, the same man. He is unkind. He is, he's mean. He's selfish. He doesn't pay to spend time with you. But you keep dating him. His name changes. It'll be Tom. It'll be Larry. It'll be John. You date the same woman. She'll be Susie, she'll be Betty, she will be Katie, but she is the same person, same set of behaviors, same set of circumstances, treats you the same way. Because you're not living in the lesson, you're living in the pain. And you're reliving the pain, you're recreating the pain. You're doing the same thing with your money. You don't honor your money in your bank account, right? So you keep going to the thing and you give them the card and you never look to see how much money you have. You never even track to see how much money you have. You get dinged with late fees, dinged with overdraft fees, ding with all kinds of fees. And then you're mad because you're living in the pain. You're not living in the lesson. The lesson is, oh, I should track what's in my account and think before I whip out the card. The card is not actually money. The card is just a symbol of what may or may not be in my bank account. So it's about living in the lesson, not in the pain. What it is, it's about practicing in all of your affairs. The practices that allows you to live a free life. Paying attention to your money is not about being trapped by it. It's about honoring a system that we have agreed to live in this world, in this society. That's what we're agreeing to. We're not agreeing to putting our money in a can and, doing cash only. We've agreed to this system, so you have to honor it. Track your money. If you're in a relationship and you really want, because that's your true desire, is the companionship and the relationship that is loving and kind, don't be in the pain. Don't have the wall built around yourself and keep trying to recreate the same thing. Go to a new place and really look at yourself and ask yourself, what is it that I want in my life? I recently made a declaration that I want to create a village for my children. I recently, because I live here, I don't have a lot of family. I'm a single mother, you all know. And I decided I'm going to create a village of people that are going to help me with my children and be present for them. So I moved them to this school, and I'm thinking, okay, so we're doing homework, and I needed to ask the teacher a question. And I emailed her on Saturday afternoon thinking, oh, she'll get back to me on Monday. I got an instant email with photographs of the book, examples attached, all of what I will need to help this child with her vocabulary class for the entire school year. She emailed me everything and she said, if you have any questions, give me a call. Here's my cell phone number. And I sat and I had to just breathe because I really wanted to cry. Because here's my village manifesting around me because this one, and she says, no problem, I'm here. I'm not expecting you to be part of my village. I didn't even expect it to manifest in that way or that quickly. Because I declared for the village on Friday. And on Saturday, the village started to manifest. And here she is saying, whatever you need, let me know. Through choice, through declaration, through positioning myself to say, I am ready for this to happen, to happen in my life, and I'm willing to accept it. To be willing to accept it and not think that I have to rely on myself, because that's my pain. Right? That's my pain. My thing is I'm self-reliant. And so in my behavior patterns, what the lessons that I have had to learn is that self-reliance is painful. Learn how to reach out to the village and ask for help if you want a village. So we live in the lessons of, this is what's going on in my life. Please show up. I'd like you to come over and hang out with me tonight because I've had a really rough week. Please show up. So I'm learning to be in the lesson, in the experience, rather than sitting in the pain of, this is really awful, I'm all alone, this is painful. So when we live in our lessons, we're standing in that awareness. Now, when you tie it into spiritual practices, right? I'm often asked, why do you meditate? I don't see a difference. Nothing happens for me in meditation. Okay, I used to feel like that too 20-something years ago. And then I learned how to meditate. I really learned how to meditate, and I committed to trying something different with an open mind and an open heart, even though the chatter in my head was saying, oh my God, we've been sitting here for 30 seconds and nothing's happened. Oh my God, we've been sitting here forever. I can't, where is this God voice? You're not hearing anything. Did you hear anything? I didn't hear anything. Get up, let's go. We have things to do, right? That's the chatter in my head. But the truth was that I believed that there was a different way from the way that I was living, because the way that I was living was not working. The way that I was living was going to be about pay the bills, save some money, buy a house somewhere or a condo somewhere to retire, and go to pasture, and have your life be basically just that. And that's not what I choose. I choose to feel the connection. I choose to be in the connection. I want and desire for the world to be better because I was here. I want and desire every day I set my intention to be kind to someone, that their life changes, whether it's through a smile, whether it's through a hello, how are you, whether it's through stopping to hear how they actually are rather than making hi, how are you a greeting, but make it be a real conversation. How are you? How are you? I really want to know how you are. That's so important for us to connect with each other. That's why we're in community together on the planet in this time, and we don't each have our own star with our own ecosystem, because God knows there are enough stars out there. We could each have our own little planet with our own ecosystem, and we wouldn't need each other. So if we are in community, then that means we're here to be together. So how do we do that? How do we connect with ourselves within? How do we remember who we truly are, whose we truly are, and what we truly are? We do that by practicing. And then we get another lesson, living in your lesson. Practice. Be open. Sit and try to meditate. And even if it doesn't work, sit in silence. Even if you feel that, oh my gosh, I didn't connect to anything, that's foolishness. Before you get up and grab your cell phone to look at Facebook, social media, before you get up and flip on the TV so you can hear what's happening in the world, like, well, it's not that important. Before you get up and do all of that, try silence. Just try getting up 5 minutes just to be quiet, just to be still. Don't wait till the last minute and then you're running around and doing all that. Take the time to just be still and enjoy meditation, enjoy the stillness. Look outside, look at the morning, look at the sun rising, look at the beauty, listen to the stillness before the world wakes up and we get into our hustle and bustle and get on the beltway and rush off to work and try to scurry to make the money and do all those things. Take a moment and practice it. Not just once or twice. Practice it until you feel it. When you feel it, be with it. Practice prayer. Practice the affirmative knowing that who you are and whose you are and what you are is important. That the reason you are here right now in this space and time is because there is something important for you to experience. That is why you're here. It's not just because you're running support for someone else. It's not just because Reverend Alex asked you to come. It's not just because you're here because we have a new music minister. It's all of that and so much more. We are all here on purpose. This is an appointed time right now for all of us. What is coming out of my mouth or coming through me is also coming to me, because I know later I'm going to have my own aha. Oh, I said that. Oh, I said that out loud, and now I have to practice that, because guess what? People watch you when you talk. They want to see if you're walking the talk that you talk. So yes, you do. I get up every morning and meditate at dark 30. You know, I get up and I pray and I sit in the stillness and I allow myself to be reminded of the connection of who I am, whose I am, and why. And that I am created in the image and likeness of the Creator. I am created. That means that I am a perfect reflection of the divine. Image and likeness. Every aspect of who I am is magnificent. I am important. And what did you say? I'm going to do amazing things? I'm doing amazing things right now in every moment. In my yes to be here. In my yes to show up for my life. And no, it is not easy when you live in the world of effects. When you are in the world of effects and you have decided that the things that you hear are true, when you live there, it takes some work, it takes some effort to disconnect from the things that you have told yourself about yourself for so many years that it has become like a reality for you. And it's not a reality, it's not a truth. Who you are is amazing. Just think about all the cells that are working right now as you sit here in your body. Heart's beating, blood's pumping, brain cells are working, lungs going in and out, kidneys doing what it does, liver's doing what it does. You aren't doing anything. You're sitting here listening to me. And everything is working magnificently because you are amazing and you are perfect and you are awesome just the way you are, and you have a gift. 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 We all have a gift. So do you, and so do you. Everyone in this room has something important to deliver on this planet. So when you're living in your lessons, use your lessons to uncover, discover, and release your gifts on the planet. Don't come here and leave here without doing what you came to do. You came to be amazing. You came to sing a song. You came to be with children. You came to play drums, write stories. Do it, and do it with all you've got. Find the thing that makes you happy. You like taking pictures? Then get your camera out the bag and take the pictures. You like to paint? Go get the canvas, get the crayons, draw, color, whatever it is. Serve. If you want to be in community, serving people, feeding the homeless, whatever it is that allows your soul to sing. And you know what it is. You don't need to go looking for it, because you know, and if you just allow yourself to be still long enough to listen to the voice within and not crowd it out with continued negative news, all of what's going on the Beltway. Did you know that so-and-so got traded to so-and-so and now he's making $20 million more than he made last year? All that stuff that distracts you because you're busy being a voyeur in other people's lives. Don't be a voyeur. Live your own life. Get in your lesson. Get in your lesson. What am I learning here? What's happening here? Why do I still have this wall around me? Well, I need to take this wall down and allow myself to live life fully, to be alive, to be in the living of my own life, rather than being on the fringes watching other people live theirs. What am I here to learn? What is my lesson? And so you stand in that truth. You stand in that truth. You honor it. You allow yourself to be a perfect expression of that which created you. And you surrender. And you do things to feed your soul. You do things that allow your soul to sing, that causes you great joy. And you rest in that awareness. And it doesn't mean that you have to check out of the rest of your life, you know, and go live on a beach somewhere painting pictures. I mean, sure, if that's what you can afford to do and want to do, by all means. But it does mean that you allow yourself to tend to the garden that's in your soul. Tend to the garden of your soul and allow that to bloom and blossom. And then watch what happens is joy, abundance, peace, love, harmony, more time than you could ever imagine. Just breaks out all over your life. And it's amazing. And sometimes, you know, I'm stunned by all the stuff I get done in a day. When I sit down and look back, I'm like, I did that too, and that. And these things got done, and I went to court, and I took care of the kids, and they, you know, and it's like this constant, oh, and I worked out, and I did this, and I took time for me, and I meditated. And it's this constant thing of like, oh, wow. And for the most part, I'm joy-filled, unless I'm in the middle of a lesson. And sometimes I'm not so joy-filled because I'm busy learning or not paying attention yet. You know what I mean? So it's about the constant evolution of who you are, the constant unfolding of your magnificence and your greatness, and your knowing that who you are has power and purpose. It's a constant unfolding and a constant knowing that the love that you bring, that the joy that you bring, that the kindness that you share, that your generosity, the way you show up for your friends, all those things matter. They matter because you matter. And if you weren't here, everything would be different and it would matter. So when you stand in your lesson, don't stay in the pain. Don't stay in the place where you're trapped by the aha. Because that's another thing that happens. We get an aha moment. Great insight. Woohoo! Yes, I get it. I'm writing it down. I'm taking it out. I'm going to do it. And then the aha just dwindles away. Don't stay in the aha, stay in the living of the aha. Be in it and take it into your life and be fully aligned with who you are, knowing that there is magnificence and purpose for all that you do. Join me in this moment just to close your eyes and let's just all turn within. Now we're going to pray just for a moment. I want you to just think as we all think about, the prayer and what it is. And one of our great master teachers, Jesus the Christ, taught us to pray believing you have already received. And that's an affirmative way. So declare what you've already received, and you will have it unfold in your life, because like Jesus said, greater things than these shall you do. And so each one of us is here to do greater things. Each one of us is here. So I want you to just feel into that vibration and know absolutely that there is only one power, one presence, one God that sources all things everywhere. There is no God and, there's just one God. And just to be aware that you are sourced, fueled, and funded by the presence of God, that who you are matters, and that today we are declaring absolutely that each one of us, each person here, is now unleashing their gift. And they're going to release it on the planet with such magnificence, and such grace, and such ease. And so I invite you to just be aware that there is only one power, one presence, and that that power and presence fuels and funds each one of us in all that we do. And so we declare absolutely that we are standing in the presence of God as perfect expressions of God, created in the image and likeness out of the very substance of that which created us. And it is from this place that I speak this word today, knowing absolutely that each person that sits here, that's anywhere near the sound of my voice, is absolutely unfolding and remembering who they are, truly connected and aware of the connection to all that is, and that each person steps into their own greatness and releases their gift, knowing absolutely that everything that they bring, that they are, that they do right now matters. And so I know absolutely that each one of us steps out of this room today forever changed, more fully expanded into our truth. For this and so much more than words can ever express, I do give thanks, because I know that each one of us is activating our greatness right now. And so we release these words absolutely into the loving activity of the law, knowing it is already done. The way is made clear, and we all step into the truth of who and what we are, living fully, filled full, and fulfill of the power and presence of God. It is done, it is done, it is done, and so it is. So it is.
I'm searching something pleasing, for a reason to raise my voice and refine my rhyme. I've been learning, life's been teaching, and the seasons are changing fast, but I make good time. Anybody can find redemption if they just look around. It's everywhere that you go, it ain't a bundle of ground. And the truth is putting both feet on the ground, and soon you're moving and in earnest. Well, you may fall down. When you do, stand proud. The journey's where the truth is found. So you're searching